on Hcmc. We're talking about what has gone on with Hcmc today, why it was inevitable, and ultimately what is going on for the stock in the next few days. Because you know what, people are still saying negative things about Hcmc. Fair enough, if you do want to believe negative things about the stock, absolutely fine. But I think what we are seeing right now is actually pretty okay for reasons which I'm going to explain in this video. So we are down today by another 12%, as we'll discuss in just a moment, but I don't think it is the worst thing in the world, as we will get onto. Just before I do the quick introduction that we do on every single video, so make sure to give it a like, obviously subscribe, feel free to become a channel member. Also remember, I am not a financial advisor, do your own research, and I also do own shares of Hcmc, in case you were wondering of my personal position. But now that I have told you about all of that, we are going to jump in and look at the price action, starting off on the more simple charts, and then look at why it has happened and what I think going forwards. So I want to start off by looking at the 1-day chart, because the 1-day chart does give us an indication of what we have seen today, down by about 12%, and it is up from the lows that we saw where we were down by about 20% or more, but we are down by about 12 so far. Obviously it's been barcoding now for quite the majority of the day, but we are still in the red, and I do believe that we will be in the red for the rest of the day. Now, the past 5 days we saw this inevitable pump as people were hyping the price up. And I just want to say, guys, and before I do even say it, I know people are going to say that I'm trying to be one of these I told you so people. I do not like to say I told you so. I really don't want to ever do that. But I was saying this on Sunday. I really was saying this on Sunday. People in the comment section, literally tens of people in the comment section, were telling me that I was wrong and that I am dissuading people from making a good investment. Well, all I'm saying, guys, is that if you'd have bought the stock on Monday, you'd have bought back up here, and now the price has plummeted below by a large amount. So again, usually I don't like to say I told you so, but in that video I thought this was inevitable. So if you did buy it when I told you not to, all I'm saying, guys, is obviously that's completely up to you, but I would not have done that, and now the price has fallen. But overall, I think this isn't a bad thing for the stock and for the people who did get in at the right prices. And again, my personal thoughts on when a decent price to get in now will be coming up in just a moment. But the price has fallen because we saw this big pump in price. Now, I did say in that video, like I mentioned, I thought it was inevitable that the price was going to fall, and many people were disagreeing with me, and that's completely fine. But obviously the price did fall because we did see a large amount of hype. People got into this one, and a lot of people who are in the stock right now probably do have the mentality of making a quick buck, if you will, and then moving on to the next stock. That's completely fine, but as I have mentioned, I do not see Hcmc as a pump and dump. And what I do see right now is we are in a position where people are seeing Hcmc as a pump and dump, because whilst the underlying fundamentals of the company are decent to long-term shareholders like myself, I think obviously short term, people just look on the charts and they see pump and they see dump. That is literally what has occurred, and that is due to all of the hype that has gone on around the stock. So yes, we do have a lot more investors who probably will hold on, but we do still have a bit of a negative light around the stock at the moment because of this pump. So initially, I did think it was quite a bad thing that we did see. Again, I'm still not too happy about the pump. However, one good thing that we are seeing is that now we are at a much higher level than where we were previously. So I'm going to go over to the Yahoo Finance charts to highlight this, because this basically does indicate what we can see for the trend for Hcmc. So basically we've been bottoming out in this 0.001 range for the longest time. Then we came up to about 0.002 before. We actually went a bit above that and then actually fell below it. And again, even when we fell below it, we actually did remain higher than where we were before. So the new floor was slightly higher, and the price rose again. Then the new floor was slightly higher. And now after these 2 days of big pumps, obviously the floor is actually much lower than what it was when it hit 0.0035, but ultimately it is much higher than what it was before, because now we are looking at a high, or at least a floor of 0.0020 or 0.0021 in my personal opinion. So I do not think that the stock is going to go much lower than this. I think that we could barcode down to the 0.0019 range, but obviously I think we definitely are going to remain quite flat and comfortable in this area right now. Now, I could be wrong, I am not guaranteed to be right, obviously, but I do think that now we have a lot more interest in Hcmc long term. I think every single time that we do get a pump in price, it is obviously going to help the stock long term, even if it's not necessarily good short term, as it does kind of damage the reputation of the stock. So now a lot more people are aware of this one, and as I have been reading on multiple different forums, people are saying that this stock has formed the gateway, or at least a stairway to heaven, as it is obviously slowly but surely pulling itself up in price. I think that's a really interesting way to put it. I think that's somewhat true. I think the share price, like I have mentioned, is seeing these small increments in increases in price, but is still moving in the right direction, and that is what we need to focus on. So I'm going to say this thing, and I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like this part, but HCMC, if you're going to invest in it, I think now is not the worst time. However, I think you do need to be a patient investor. I have about 2 million shares, as I have mentioned before, but obviously I am looking to hold these 2 million shares for the next 12 months, and you know what, I'd be more than willing to hold it for longer if that is the case, if that's what needs to happen. I see the fundamentals of this company, I see the ongoing lawsuit, and I see the potential that this business does have. It's a penny stock, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a gamble, and it definitely could go wrong as well, but if it does go right, I do think that long term this one is going to pay off. So if you are going to get into HCMC, I personally would make sure that you have the mentality which will allow you to stay into this one for about 12 months, if not longer, and obviously be comfortable waiting that long. Don't buy into this one thinking it's going to explode overnight. It absolutely could explode overnight if we do get a ruling from the judge, but even then, it's not guaranteed it will be a ruling in their favour. So basically what I'm trying to say in this video, a lot of people over the past day or so say negative things about HCMC. That's completely fine. People were asking me to delete negative comments about HCMC in my comment section. Honestly, I'm not going to do that unless they are disinformative, and I will be checking for those in this video. But if you want to have a negative opinion on the stock, you can. It's obviously free speech, say what you want. However, I do believe, because we have seen this pump in price, it's brought a lot more negative eyes. I think if you are investing in HCMC, or if you have invested, do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Nothing has changed fundamentally in the company. We've not had a ruling on the judge's motion. We've obviously not had any new information from the company, so nothing fundamentally has changed, apart from we've seen this artificial pump in price. Do remember that, and of course stick to your DD, stick to your research, and be happy with what you have found. Other important things to note is that earnings are speculated to come out tomorrow. I do remember that in the last video I referred to this as March. It was actually May, and yes, I did make a mistake. The reason for that is because this year has absolutely flown by. We're almost halfway through this year, and I cannot believe it. It's gone ever so quick. But yes, it is May, and obviously earnings are speculated to come out tomorrow. If they are good, we could see a massive increase in share price for the company, and for me at least, I do believe that they are going to be really, really good, as a lot of investors are buying products from this business, and that is also helping them to grow their revenue and to have a better business overall. So I think that is what we need to focus on realistically. I think you can say what you want about the pumpamentals, if you will, of this company, the ability to pump the share price by investing $100, but I don't think that's right. I think this one is going to stand through with the fundamentals. I think that is what is really going to help the stock to perform, if you are willing to invest in it. So please be aware of the risks, because there definitely are risks, don't get me wrong, as there are with any stock. But I think right now HCMC is at a decent point. I think definitely at the current price, for me at least, it would be a buy. Now I bought my shares at 0.0018 on average, so obviously I've got about enough for myself. 2 million for me at least at the moment is enough. But if I was looking to buy into HCMC, I think right now isn't the worst time to buy, because I think this one isn't going to fall down by much lower, but I think if it is going to rocket, it could do that by quite a large amount more. So again, come to your own conclusions, do your own research, and don't trust anybody, because everybody is just spouting their opinion, and it is nothing more than an opinion. Obviously, make sure to do your own DD, and I will be giving you guys a more in-depth fundamental look on this company this weekend, so subscribe so that you don't miss that. Thank you for watching, I'll see you soon.